12 News, a rise in HIV cases among young people. What a Robbinsdale clinic is saying about it. Plus, a Maple Grove mom with a dream of helping kids with autism. And rethinking the idea of play.
We're really trying to design something that will inspire and motivate kids to pull their heads from that digital fog.
A New Hope business founder aims to spark creativity with a different kind of playground. 12 News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. Investigators are trying to figure out the cause of a Plymouth house fire.
Firefighters were called about 9 o'clock this morning to this home on Forest View Lane North in far southern Plymouth. The fire started in the garage and spread to the rest of the house, causing significant damage. The homeowner's son tried to put the fire out with a hose, but it was too far along. It's a difficult circumstance added on to a difficult last few days for homeowner Betty Johnson.
Last week I was at two family funerals, my brother and my nephew, and then I worked this week, and this is what I get.
The home is considered a total loss, but hopefully things will get better for Betty. She does have insurance, and it's her birthday next week. New cases of HIV and AIDS are down in Minnesota, but state health officials say they've seen a spike among certain population groups.
A report released this week by the Minnesota Department of Health saw significant rate increases among young adults and minorities. Delane Cleveland joins us now with more on that. Delane?
Mike and Alex, state health officials say that there were 294 new cases of HIV and AIDS in 2015. That's compared to 306 in 2014. But they're seeing higher infection rates in communities with limited access to HIV testing and prevention programs.
It's important to know your status, and it's important for healthcare providers to understand how to reduce barriers to sexually active individuals who need to be screened, and to identify ways to reach those populations if they're not getting to the clinic.
The Annex Teen Clinic in Robbinsdale has a goal of improving people's ability to speak openly and honestly about sexual health. They do outreach efforts to some of the impacted communities, but staff members here say that there's still a stigma associated with sexual health services. And there's also a lot of myths and misinformation about how sexually transmitted infections, such as HIV, are transmitted.
One of our problems is there's no statewide standards for sexuality education, and so there's still an awful lot of young people who are not getting comprehensive sexuality education in school settings, community settings, or at home.
Overall, there's an estimated 8,200 people in Minnesota living with HIV and AIDS. Meanwhile, the CDC recommends annual HIV screenings for people at risk who have had unprotected sex, a new sexual partner, or who have shared needles or equipment to inject drugs. Mike and Alex.
All right. Thank you, Delane. Well, now to a big medical deal that will impact more than 1,000 St. Jude medical workers in Plymouth.
Chicago area-based Abbott Laboratories has announced a $25 billion deal to acquire St. Jude Medical. St. Jude Medical makes devices to treat heart ailments, including pacemakers and defibrillators. In 2013, the company expanded its Plymouth facility with a 3-story, 275,000 square foot addition. With the mega deal, Abbott Labs is trying to expand in the medical device industry. Abbott Labs is best known for its infant formula and nutritional products that include Similac, Ensure, and Pedialyte.
1 in 68 children in the U.S. is diagnosed with autism. 12 News reporter Shannon Slatton introduces us to a Maple Grove mom who wants to give children on the autism spectrum a new place to play.
There's just something about Keegan that is extremely special.
Today is a good day on the playground for 5-year-old Keegan Lucking.
The first time that we came out with my sister and my 2 nieces, within 10 minutes, maybe even 5 minutes, I mean, he was on the ground in a full meltdown, and we had to leave.
Keegan is on the autism spectrum, so sometimes the size and noise of places like are overwhelming.
It was just too much fun, and the excitement of it.
It's happened several times before at large playgrounds.
We had to go to a smaller park.
But Keegan's mom, Lisa, has an idea. She'd like to open what's called a sensory gym in Maple Grove.
Instead of having to pack up my bags and leave, you can go to the calming room.
Besides having calming rooms, sensory gyms like the one pictured here offer toys and experiences that cater to children on the spectrum.
And they're working everything, and they don't realize that it's therapy.
The project is in its earliest stages. Lisa doesn't have a franchise or a location yet, but she has launched a GoFundMe campaign for a space that offers more than just a place to play.
It's hard to find other parents to have your kids play with and who understand exactly what you're going through. And that it's not just a child who's being a brat or a parent that's not parenting.
Instead, Lisa hopes the gym can become a community gathering place for families coping with sensory disorders.
And I just want that to be there for parents in a community, because now then you have play dates that you can make for your kid with somebody else who's dealing with the same issues.
In Maple Grove, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
We have posted a link to Lisa's GoFundMe page with her story on our website, and that's 12.tv.
A Crystal state lawmaker wants to change how property taxes get paid. Currently, property taxes are paid in 2 installments. A bill proposed by Representative Lyndon Carlson would change that to 8. He says the current method is a hardship for some property owners. However, Carlson is getting pushback, including from the counties, who argue that it will cost more money since they would have to reprogram computers and modify statements. They say it could end up increasing property taxes.
Lunch prices may be going up in the Anoka-Hennepin School District. School officials say they are reluctant to do it, but they have to keep up with the increasing cost of food and federal pricing requirements. The district will consider a 15-cent increase when school resumes this fall. Another 10-cent increase may be proposed in the next school year. The price of a high school lunch would climb to $2.50 starting in September. A New Hope company is shaking up the business of play, creating playgrounds like you've never seen before.
And now the founder of the company has been picked to share his story of creativity with an audience full of thinkers and doers.
There's more playgrounds today in every pocket park and city park, and they're all kind of seem to be the same. They're just different colors.
The way Todd Lehman sees it, today's plastic playgrounds are pretty much all the same, and that's a problem.
Kids are spending half as much time today outside playing than they did 20 years ago. Half.
Today's play structures are a far cry from the imaginative robot he remembers playing on as a kid in New Hope, or the rocket slide inspired by the space race.
I think we've lost a lot of that, and a lot of that is attributed to, playground standards and guidelines being implemented, which is important, but we've also kind of stepped away from the creativity side.
Todd Lehman is bringing creativity back to play. Since 2005, Lehman's New Hope company, Create Play, has designed and built dozens of elaborate and realistic play structures for kids in Minnesota and across the country.
What I like to say is it's almost like picture Disneyland in a playground, and that's what we're creating.
Soon, Todd will inspire others by sharing his story on stage at the Northrop Auditorium.
Todd specifically got picked because I think that he really does embody what we want our attendees to gain from this entire experience.
The upcoming TEDx event at the University of Minnesota features 9 speakers reawakening creativity.
It's too common that we say oh, this is the way it is, or that's just how it is, that's how it always was.
The TEDx events aim to share good ideas. It's the same forum that went viral 6 years ago for Brené Brown, a Texas researcher who spoke on vulnerability and human connection.
Am I alone in struggling with vulnerability? No.
For the opportunity just to be asked to be part of that is truly an honor.
At a time when kids are mesmerized by digital screens, Todd Lehman is competing by creating worlds where kids can't wait to go out and play.
And the fact that I have that opportunity to help kids live a better life, it's pretty awesome.
Tickets are available for Friday night's TEDx event at the University of Minnesota, and we will have more information on our website at 12.tv. Coming up, we head to Providence Academy to meet this week's Standout student.
And later in sports, a young goalie from Maple Grove is set to take part in a national women's hockey camp.
But first, the rain backs off. We actually may see glimmers of sun on Friday. Well, if if you don't have plans for the weekend, Providence Academy students are performing their spring musical on the town. It might be something to catch up with. The students take control of the entire production, with the orchestra performing all of the music by Leonard Bernstein. And a cast of more than 30 tell the story of 3 sailors on leave in New York City. And the show times are Friday and Saturday at 7 p.m. with a Sunday matinee at 2 p.m. Tickets are available at the door at Providence Academy. Providence student Anna Laughery also has a musical side. She plays several instruments and she's an honor student.
In this week's Standout Student, reporter Sonia Goins has more on her academic success.
Anna Laughery says crunching numbers is really not her thing, but she gives it her all in honors calculus.
If you have the opportunity to challenge yourself, why not? Why not push harder? Because it's just, if you make things hard, the hard stuff seems less hard in the future.
All that effort and hard work is paying off. Anna is an honor student. Religion class is her favorite subject.
It's really real world, so we get to talk about how to practice our religion in our daily lives and prepare us for college.
She's also an accomplished musician and singer.
I've been playing violin since I was 5. I play guitar. I just kind of taught myself for fun, because everyone wants to play guitar. And I sing a little bit.
Anna shines on the softball field. She plays catcher for the Providence Lions.
I like it that it's a team sport. You can't just have one player. You have to really work together, and there's so much mental aspects to the game that you don't have to be the best athlete, you just have to be the smartest.
Anna also has a passion for helping others. She's participated in several mission trips.
We all deserve to be treated well and to be loved, and just not everyone gets that in life, and not everyone has the same cards dealt, so just being able to share that love with other people is really important to me.
In Plymouth, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
Anna hasn't decided what she will major in, and she is putting college off for a year so she can do mission work. Well, coming up, a New Hope man with a multi-step exercise plan.
But first, Champlin Park and Osseo-Park Center face off in girls and boys lacrosse. Jay Wilcox has that and more next in sports.
Jay Wilcox with sports now, and you go up against the same team year after year, and it's got to be fun to turn the tables and win one.
Yeah, every year is not going to be the same year after year, and we're seeing that a little bit here, a little changing of the guard, I guess. It's been 6 years since Osseo-Park Center defeated Champlin Park in boys lacrosse. They changed that in a big way on a rainy Wednesday night at Park Center. Osseo-Park Center goes on the attack as Boone Almquist sets up Noah Fleming for a goal just 29 seconds in. Almquist takes the next one himself, zipping the shot home for the first of his 5 goals on the night. Watch this one. Fleming with a great takeaway at midfield, and he goes in alone to score the goal of the night. He nets 4 total in the game for OPC. They lead 4-0 after 1. Second quarter, and Alec Johnson takes the pass, spins, and scores as Osseo-Park Center continues to dominate. Almquist bounces an accurate shot in as Osseo-Park Center rolls to a 15-1 win over the Rebels. The Champlin Park girls lacrosse team is hoping to make a return trip to the state tournament, and it's so far so good this season for the Rebels. They faced an Osseo-Park Center team coming off a big win over Armstrong on a sloppy night on the grass at Champlin Park. Tara Dahlman zips in front and scores a goal here for the Rebels. Then Hannah Krimble slips the defender and scores to make it 4-1 Champlin Park. OPC comes back. Margot Coombs with a few fakes and a nice shot, cutting Champlin Park's lead to 5-4. Sam Nolan slices her way through the Osseo-Park Center defense and scores. The Rebels lead at 7-5 at halftime. Second half, and Krimble scores from the free position. Champlin Park goes on to win a good game, 11-8. While the Breck girls team is the only area squad on the state rankings in lacrosse, local squads are getting noticed in several other spring sports. That includes baseball, where Wayzata is the #1 team in the Class 4A rankings for the second straight week. The Trojans are followed by Cretin-Durham Hall and Minnetonka. Wayzata and Minnetonka play a key Lake Conference game Friday evening at Minnetonka. Champlin Park is 8th, Totino Grace 12th, Maple Grove 14th, and Hopkins 20th. Providence Academy is number 16 in Class 2A. In boys tennis, Shakopee leads the Class AA ratings ahead of Eastridge and Rochester Century. Lake Conference teams Minnetonka and Edina are 4-5. Locally, Wayzata is at number 8 and Maple Grove number 10. And the Trojans and Crimson meet Monday at Maple Grove. Blake and Breck are still 1 and 2 in the Class A boys tennis rankings, and that ranking held up last week when the Bears beat the Mustangs 5-2. St. Peter, Foley, and Hibbing round out the top 5. The National Sports Center is getting ready to host another camp in association with USA Hockey. The second annual USA Hockey Women's National Team Development Goaltending Camp is coming in 2 weeks to the Super Rink. 18 of the top goalies who are eligible for international play, including Maple Grove's Brianna Blessy, will be at the camp.
You know, it's unique for us to have so many goalies in one place, and it's unique for the players as well. That's the only time they've said that they get together with so many other goalies.
As I mentioned, among those invited to the camp, Maple Grove High School's Brianna Blessy. The Crimson Junior helped her team reach the state class AA championship game this season. The goalie camp is another of the USA Hockey events now held annually at the Super Rink.
We have a close relationship with USA Hockey. We have, this year we'll have 3 different camps for USA Hockey. Every Christmas season, the women's team comes in for a week-long training camp. This goalie camp in May, and then we just recently came off of a U18 training camp with national teams from the United States, Denmark, and Finland that were here for a week training before the World Championships.
Former Gopher Rob Stauber is the head instructor for the goalie camp, which starts May 12th. He is the goaltending coach for the U.S. women's national team. So great opportunity for a young player from Maple Grove.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Jay. Still ahead, a New Hope man who's walked 500 miles and many more.
And meet New Hope's Step to It champion when we come back.
And finally, New Hope's Step to It champion is ready for the next challenge.
69-year-old Roger Rubin has recorded the most steps in 7 out of the 8 past 8 years in New Hope. Step to It is an annual month-long fitness competition organized by Hennepin County. Last year, Roger logged the equivalent of more than 1,095,000 steps during the month of May. Many of them on his bike. Yes, it all counts, along with doing aerobics or mowing the lawn.
When the weather is nice and I can get on my bike, I will go for anywhere from an hour to 3 hours, at a time. And you can get a lot of steps, as they say. Absolutely, it keeps me young. There's no question. And my doctor tells me the same thing.
Recent back surgery is keeping Roger from doing a lot of walking these days, but his doctor says the stationary bike is okay, so he is off and spinning and counting those steps. And you can sign up at steptoit.org and you can start logging your progress on May 1st. And I don't care who you are, over 1 million steps.
Go, Roger, go. That's great.
That's it for now. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you later.